And now, live from our studios in San Marcos, California, it's another episode of Fix Your Funnel Friday. And here's your host, Ryan Chapman.
All right, welcome to Fix Your Funnel Friday. That intro music is getting a little catchy, I bet. In today's segment, we're going to be talking about upsells. And I wrote the book on upsells. If you haven't seen this book, it's Would You Like to Go Big? And I'm going to talk about how you can get a copy of it later. But it's all about upsells, and it came from a script that I wrote on how one-click upsells, and I just got interested in the topic. I'm interested because it's very important to your business. In fact, it's so important that I want to show you the math on how this actually works. So let's say you had a $27 product and you're pushing people to this page to buy this $27 product. And when they bought the $27 product, you stop there. Well, if we multiply 27 times 100, we're going to use that for easy math, you'd be at 2,700. But let's say it cost you $20 to get the person there in the first place. So your net profit is actually $700 on those 100 people coming through. Now what happens when we add an upsell? Let's say we went crazy and we added an upsell that was $100. Now that's not really crazy, but let's say we do for easy math. And then after that, if they say yes or they say no, we're going to make another offer to them for our $27 a month continuity program. Whether it's a subscription product delivery or whatever, doesn't matter. It's $27. Now, statistically, 20% of the people are going to take us up on that offer. So let's say 2 of the people take us up on that first offer of $100 each. That's pretty realistic. And let's say the other 18 only take us up on the $27 a month offer. So what's the math look like? Well, you can probably see it over here on my shoulder, but it's 27 times 18 is 486. 100 times 2 is 200. So the total is $686 in upsell revenue. And do we have any marketing costs associated with getting those customers? The answer is no. It's all eaten up in the first product, regardless if we offer the upsell or not. So since we offer an upsell, we take all that money and it goes straight towards what we call net profit or gross profit. So at that point, what have we done to our gross profit? We've effectively doubled it just by adding 2 simple upsells that help our most valuable customers to be able to get what they need. Another reason why upsells are so important besides the math is it helps to identify your most valuable customers. Now these are the people who want to spend at a higher level with you. And statistically across the board, 20% of your buyers are going to be these people. Now they fall into 2 general camps. First are sprinters, and the next camp are marathoners. Now sprinters are people who have just this great appetite for whatever it is that you supply the need of. So they're looking to you to be able to give them opportunities to be able to consume more information, more services, get more products, whatever it may be that they are looking to you to provide for them. They want more of it from you and they want it now. So they're in a hurry to spend more money because they have a real need. It's a burning desire. Okay? Now the marathoner, in contrast to that, is someone who self-identifies as a luxury buyer. They're someone who buys at the highest level just as a matter of identity. You can kind of tell these people because they drive the Mercedes, they have to wear the fancy watches. Nothing against that. I'm just saying that's part of who they are. It's their identity. So they have to spend at that level just as a matter of identity. Now it's really important that you satisfy these 2 people. So the question comes down to this. They're going to go somewhere. Why not let it be you? See, when people have needs, they get them met. Now, if you don't give them opportunities to have them met with you, then they'll go find someone else to do it for them. So why not you? Now, there are 4 sins of upsells that if you commit these, you will not see a 20% buy rate on your upsell offers. In fact, you'll probably see in the low single digits, if anything at all. And so if you're not seeing at least 20%, then you need to check yourself on these 4 sins I'm going to go over. Now, why do I call them sins? Because I believe you have a moral obligation. If what you offer is valuable, if what you offer truly brings benefit to your customers, then you have a moral obligation to meet their needs. And those most valuable customers need you to help them meet their needs. So it's a sin if you don't do it. So these 4 things are going to reduce those most valuable customers from identifying themselves by buying your upsells. So let's get into them. Sin number 1 is don't invalidate their initial purchase. See, when people trust you enough to make that first purchase, you've created a relationship with them. If you destroy that trust by making the next purchase seem as though the first purchase was a ruse, a scam, some sort of trick, then you've ruined the long-term relationship. See, my book, Would You Like to Go Big, has a subheadline. The subheadline is How to Increase Initial Customer Value Without Sacrificing Lifetime Value. We don't want to invalidate this initial purchase and end up destroying our lifetime value with the customer. We want to enhance it for those who are actually interested in spending at a higher level with us. Okay, sin number 2 is you don't address their core need. See, nobody buys your products or services because they actually want them. They buy them because they believe, they feel, or they think that what you offer is going to help them get closer to a goal or further away from a nightmare. That's the bottom line. So that core need, whatever that dream or that nightmare is, the dream they're pursuing or the nightmare they're trying to get away from, if your upsell doesn't address that core need in some advanced way, either making it easier for them to get there or faster, then what's going to happen is they're not going to see the connection and they're not going to buy. So don't commit that sin. Sin number 3 is failure to connect the dots. See, it's not the buyer's obligation. It's not your new client or customer's obligation to figure out why what you're offering to them should make sense. It's your obligation. And so it's your obligation to connect the dots with them. Show them how making this investment to upgrade their order is going to help them get closer to their core need. So whatever it is, if they're pursuing a dream or they're evading a nightmare, whatever you're doing to help them get to their objective, make sure that you connect the dots on how this upsell, how this offer is going to help them get closer to that objective. If you do, you won't commit sin number 3. And finally, sin number 4, don't create a no set. If you're in sales, you've probably heard of a yes set before. It's where we want someone to hear things that they can completely agree with. That way they can get into an agreement state of mind. Well, when we create that agreement state of mind, people are more likely to say yes to whatever our offer is that we make to them. However, when we get a new customer and they've said yes to their initial purchase, we don't want to make them say no more than 2 times. And that's what I call a no set. If you go more than 2 times that they have to say no in your upsells, you've created a no set. So don't make it so they have to say no that many times, and you'll avoid sin number 4. Now, besides 4 sins of upsells, there are 4 keys to maximizing your upsell return. Now, I mentioned 20% at the beginning of this video. 20% is kind of the bare minimum. If we're not seeing 20%, it means we're committing one of those 4 sins I talked about. But it's not uncommon to hear that people are getting up to 40, 50, 60% conversion on their upsells. Now, why are they getting so high if 20% of the population self-identifies as a more valuable customer in terms of need to spend? Well, the reason why is because they've used 4 keys to help people make a decision in the buying process. And I'm going to explain those to you. But before I do, if your upsells ever get over 40%, it may mean that your price is too low. Now, we would say, oh wow, I got 60, 70, 80%, that's great. But what that really means is your offer is priced so low that people just can't say no to it. Now, that's not always bad. It depends on what your objective is, but be aware of that as you work with upsells. Okay, the first key is control the flow of information. See, when someone's presented with an opportunity to make a decision in buying, they do it based on whatever information is available to them. And if no other information is available, then they'll do it based on price alone. And that's the last thing we want them to do. Again, it comes back to that moral obligation we have to help them to make the best decision that's in their best interest. And so the way that we do that is we control the flow of information. Don't let them see the price before they've had a chance to evaluate based on the other criteria that you'll provide for them in your sales copy or your sales video. Key number 2 is create anticipation. We all love to be in anticipation mode. We call it curiosity. If you can create curiosity for your customers as they're going through the process of being presented an offer, their interest will be piqued and they'll pay greater attention and they'll process the information you're giving to them better, which will help them to make a more confident decision to say yes. Key number 3 is give them the option to buy over the phone. Now, if you're doing online sales, we normally don't think about using the phone. But if you'll put a phone number on the page, when it's time for them to take you up on your offer, you'll find that some of those people will call it because they have questions you didn't address. Those questions are going to help you not only pick up that sale, but it's also going to help you to be able to figure out how you can enhance your video or your sales copy to address that concern preemptively. Key number 4 is use deadlines. Everybody operates better under deadlines. See, there's a big misnomer out there that people who don't buy because they go with the competition or an alternative solution. Those are 2 of 4 options that most people have as their default buying method. The first 2 are they do nothing or they delay making a decision. Do nothing and don't delay, being the more popular of the options for people who don't buy, can be overcome by helping people with a deadline. So use a deadline effectively to help people make a decision, and you'll see a greater conversion in your upsells. At the beginning of this video, I showed you my book, Would You Like to Go Big? It's all on upsells. In fact, it's particularly on upsells for post initial purchase upsells, which is where I think you really need to be. And in this book, I reveal some of the information we talked about in this video, and I go a little bit deeper. I'd like to get you a copy. And all I'm going to ask is that you help me out with the shipping and handling. I'm not even going to ask you to pay all of it. Just help me out on it. There's a link you see on the video right now. You can go ahead and go to that URL, or you can click the link in the post or email or web page that you saw this video on. And we'll give you an opportunity to pick that up. I hope you've enjoyed today's Fix Your Funnel Friday video. It is one of my favorite topics because it's like giving people free money. When you institute post initial order upsells into your business, I guarantee you're going to be making more profit and you're going to be much happier. You're going to be able to service your customers at a higher level, and they're going to have their needs met first and fully, which is the most important thing. Okay, now if you'd like to suggest a topic for one of our upcoming Fix Your Funnel Fridays, I want to make it easy for you. Just text whatever topic you want to hear to the number 760-332-8977. Now, you'll notice I didn't ask you to text in a keyword. There's no keyword to text in. Just text in whatever topic you'd be interested in to that number. Now, if you do want to text in a keyword, you can text the keyword FIX to that same number, and that will get you on a list, so you'll be sent a text message with the link to this video each Friday. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.